Are you ready for the best Kansas City Chiefs insight? Welcome to Four Guys in a Bar podcast, sponsored by Chiefs Blitz and presented by Dave Purdy with Supreme Lending. For your mortgage solutions, call Dave today at 816-405-5831. That's 816-405-5831 because he's pretty good. Here's your Chiefs Blitz host, Nick Athan, with Lou Montagna, Andre Tillman, and Hense Todd.
Welcome back to the next edition of Four Guys in a Bar. I am your host, Nick Athan. Four Guys in a Bar is presented by ChiefsBlitz.com. Check us out on our YouTube channel at ChiefsBlitz. Please subscribe. And we're joined by Hense Todd, producer extraordinaire of our show and my partner in this maddening venture. He's also with Bowtie Sports. You can check out their show every Saturday, 1 o'clock Central Time at Bowtie Sports on your YouTube channel. And before we get started the show and we bring in the rest of the crew, I want to talk about our corporate sponsors. That's what makes everything work. First up, I want to talk about my good friend, Mr. Eric Haynes with the Eric Haynes Group. He is your personal real estate advisor. He is my real estate advisor. He is Hense's real estate advisors. And he is the guy that has walked me through the process. We found a house. Woohoo! First-time buyer for my wife, so she's going through a little different experience. Gone through this a few times. But nonetheless, Eric has taken our hands. He's made sure that everything has been done right, making sure that the offer was approved, helping us with all the details that require you to get a house from start to finish. You want someone you trust. You want someone who's going to answer their phone. He always answers his phone. You call him at 816-729-3785. The man answers his phone. And that's what you want when you're dealing with something like this. Buying a house is not easy. There's a lot of things out there that you have to be leery of, and you need someone who can dissect everything. So give Eric Haynes a call at 816-729-3785.
And proud sponsor, Chief Who?
And proud sponsor of Chiefs Who. And with that, I bring in the other part of the four guys, the second half of the four guys, Mr. Lou Montagna, the other senior member, and Mr. Andre Tillman as well. Gentlemen, well, you know, it's Friday. It's not a Red Friday. We were not going to have a Red Friday for a really, really, really long time. Right. I think somebody calculated, I don't know,
always Red Friday,
200 and some odd days or something like that. Who knows? But football will return. But the business of football has already begun, and there's been a lot of rumblings, a lot of rumors. The NFL Combine begins Monday, and at the NFL Combine, in the lobbies and in the in the private dinners, that's where all these deals get discussed. That's where a lot of things happen that shape which free agents might be available, what the round number might be to get them, what their interest level is in coming to a Super Bowl winner. You can't say Kansas City Chiefs. You just have to kind of mosey on around the language a little bit. It's kind of like talking to your children. You don't want to really tell them what you really think. You just want to tell them just enough to where they kind of get the message. So at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. But the Chiefs have kind of already started the free agent plunge, parting ways with punter Tommy Townsend, though it's not official. He is an unrestricted free agent. And, they got a young kicker in Matt Araiza, who had some legal issues the last couple of years. Sixth-round pick, the punt god, a sixth-round pick of the Buffalo Bills in 2022. He has not played a snap in the NFL. This guy can punt. He can kick field goals. He can hold extra points. And I'm assuming he's probably got a pretty good left arm that he can throw some passes like Tommy Townsend. They also signed Tyree Gillespie, former fourth-round pick, I believe, of the Las Vegas Raiders of a couple years ago. So, hey, roster moves have started, guys. I mean, what do you think?
Operation Three-Peat has begun.
He did actually play that down in the NFL. He kicked 82 yards.
I think.
I got you.
Here's the thing, and we talked about. I guess when was that? Earlier this week. Was it Tuesday? I forget what the.
Who knows what day it is? They're all running together,
right? But Tuesday we talked about the roster shaping and so forth. So again, this just goes to show you that the business of football is business, and Brett Veach isn't going to overpay, at any particular position, none the least at punter. Now, God bless him. Tommy was a big part of this. Had a great Super Bowl, had a great playoffs. Maybe it wasn't his best year overall, but whatever that number is that he thinks he's going to get in the market is going to be a lot higher than what this kid offers at almost the league minimum. Right. So like you said, you mentioned all his attributes. I think he also runs like a 4.6 40.
Yeah. So, I watched his 40 today. So I watched his 40 from the combine. It was impressive.
So he's an athlete. I mean, at the combine, the guys were blown away because typically you don't see this kind of athleticism from a punter, but this kid is an athlete and he can play. But for, again, legal issue and then subsequent, I don't know if there was a civil suit or whatever. It was withdrawn or dismissed, whatever. Maybe they settled it. Bottom line is the kid can kick the ball. It's going to cost them a hell of a lot less. And I think, again, the message to the rest of the team or the rest of the free agents is we're not going to overpay, especially at a position like punter. So Veach is Veach, man. I don't, for all the hate that he gets, the dude's just done an amazing job. And here's another, case in point where he can take advantage of a situation.
Well, let me give you some breaking news. I was off. The new salary cap is $255.4 million. I was told it would be around 250. So the Chiefs have about 28 million to 30 million in cap space without making any moves right now, which is pretty good. So that's just breaking news. I wanted to get that out there on the show.
So look, you were talking about before the show earlier. You was talking about something about the market when it comes to punters and whatnot.
Right.
So,
well, I think here's what I think. I mean, last summer Tommy Townsend signed with Drew Rosenhaus. Now, Drew Rosenhaus generally doesn't take on clients who are special teamers because there's not enough money in it, unless he sees an opportunity to quote unquote reset the market. So I think what he's doing with Tommy is he's got an old pro punter. He's got 2 Super Bowl rings or 3 Super Bowl rings, right? Yeah, 3. And they're going to say, hey, we're going to set the market. Now, I've heard rumblings that he wants somewhere north of $7 million a year. That's outrageous for a punter. I mean, they're not even paying, butt kicker that kind of money. And he's their special teams MVP. So I think he wants to start, getting punters, and he wants to start raising the value and raising the market. And Brett Veach is no dummy. He's not going to pay Tommy Townsend, that kind of money. Tommy sucked the first 2 years. Let's just be honest. He was not very good. He had holding issues last year. It took him almost 3 full years to get the holding thing down. They've got an athlete in Matt, and I think this is a great pickup. But Rosenhaus, let's reset the market. This is what we're going to do. We're going to start hoarding special teams players and resetting the bar like they did with the wide receiver market. And that's where he's gotten his bread and butter. Look what happened 3 years ago. Tyreek Hill got his money. Devontae Adams got his money. Beckham got money. Hopkins got his money. Those kind of salaries for wide receivers, they're starting to come down. And as we saw last year with the highest guys only making, 15 to 16 to 17 million in some cases. So, that's what Rosenhaus does. He resets the market.
And looking at what team he came from again, they got to just be sitting over there like,
don't they have to be pissed?
We suck again.
They suck again. You know what I mean? This is unbelievable. First, they you trade your pick for Patrick Mahomes, and now they got that. Then they got you for that. Then the Chiefs jumped in front of you. You got McDuffie when you had your eyes all over him. Now they went in your backyard, took your punt guard that you released. You couldn't stick around to see what happens with the legal trouble. And once again, this is Andy Reid giving guys a second chance. That's had legal troubles, and he also give people second chances. Looking at this, the Bills, hey, I don't know, man. What's up? You 1 minute, the Chiefs come back and jump up. You trade with them. They give them Patrick Mahomes. Then they jump in front of you. They got Trent McDuffie. Now they took the punter. Now they go. Look, think the punt guard with this defense is the best combination, right? He punts it 82 yards. He gets it all the way down the field, putting them at the 1 yard line. With this defense, good luck.
Yeah.
Good luck. If that's the case, then we punting that next year, and I don't believe that because looking into this draft, there's going to be a heck of receivers there that the Chiefs' biggest needs are, coming into this offseason and left tackle. But again, thinking of this, looking at this, I can't believe that he was still out there. I can't believe the team.
Nobody signed. Nobody even brought him into camp. I mean, the Jets brought him in, I think, after he was released by the Bills. Now we need to be clear: the charges, not the charges, the accusations against him were dismissed. They were proven to be not true. He had filed a civil suit. He filed a defamation suit against the woman who claimed that he was part of this group. He agreed to withdraw that, which happened in December of this year. Joe Linta is his agent, and Joe is top shelf. Joe's one of the nicest guys on the planet. He's an East Coaster. He specializes in players of this kind of value. And if Joe Linta signs you, you're a good person, and you're gonna play your tail off. So kudos to Joe for getting this done. He's with the JL Group. He's one of the best agents out there. So I think that with signing Matt Araiza, you've got a situation now where, Veach can cross this off the list. Now that they've got, upwards of 28, 29 million in cap space before they cut or reduce MVS, before they restructure Mahomes, before they restructure Kelsey, before they restructure Thuney. So the Chiefs and Taylor. Well, they can't do Taylor yet. They're stuck on Taylor till the third year of the deal. They can move some signing bonus to roster bonus. They can probably do that or vice versa, but they can't restructure the value of the contract until year 3. So this gives them a lot of flexibility. So the Chiefs could have upwards of 75 million, if they move Mahomes' money around, they restructure. They have enough to sign Snead. They got enough to sign Jones. I got an update on Jones. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But, I think that this is all good news for the Chiefs and Brett Veach. Again, it's three-peat time. They all took a couple of weeks. They all took a week and a half off. They're all going to be at the combines on Monday. Andy's going to speak. Brett's going to speak. A lot of the coaches are going to be there. Some teams don't send anybody. Again, what the Chiefs are doing right now is, what's it going to take? Now they know the cap number. They've talked to their internal free agents. They kind of know where they sit, and we'll see what happens between now and I would say by Wednesday. I think Wednesday is the 1st. If the 1st, I think you'll see a couple of these names for the Chiefs come off the board. I think they're going to try and get some deals done before they head into March.
So looking at that, before we get into that, what are people saying about the comments about the punt guy, Coach Dre?
Well, they said a plethora of things over here. Some of them answered. Some of the questions Nick had just stated, just answered. My bad. Ken St. Clair says, and always nice to grab another player for the Buffalo Bills. Blake says this. Any word on the contract terms for the punt guy? Right. I think you just addressed that, Lou. St. Clair said those left leg kickers mess with returners, and he also said he was never charged criminally. All right, now Trahan just stated Lies almost destroyed his career. So glad he's a Chief. This will be tremendous, and I agree 100% because that complements the defense. His leg complements that defense. So I believe it's a big move for Kansas City, a big move. So
and also one thing a lot of people didn't touch on, that this guy kicked 72-yard field goals. You know what I mean? He kicked field goals too. So good luck, Justin Reed. I don't think you're the mercy kicker anymore. I know.
Somebody posted that. That was pretty funny.
I know he tweeted out and said that he's still going to have the competition. He said he ain't giving up his emergency kick job. But hey, looking at this guy come in, he's kicking 72-yard field goals, and he's good on kickoff returns too. So you can rest up the butt kicker and have him on the sideline ready to kick those field goals while this guy kicking off and doing punts. So and he's young.
I don't think his abilities are in question at any stretch. I mean, he was a drafted punter. Okay, I mean, so that goes a lot right there. Most teams don't draft those positions, so I don't think that is any question. Just like some teams or a lot of teams take guys off their draft boards for character issues. I'm sure a lot of teams took him off of their free agent boards. So while we're patting ourselves on the back for doing a great job and going out and getting this guy, I'm guessing a lot of the league just said, you know what, it's not worth the headache.
Yeah, no one was going to do anything.
True or not, I mean, that's just it. I mean, it's great that he's getting a second chance, but some teams look at that and say, wait a second, he's accused of crime against a woman. Chiefs have some experience with that, and Kareem Hunt was immediately let go. So maybe they're having the same conversations about the Chiefs in Cleveland, saying, oh my God, they let this guy go. Now we have him. He's this great player. Well, I don't think anybody's questioning the ability of these guys. The question is, do you want to bring that into your locker room? Is your fan base going to be okay with it?
But I don't think
I'm not saying that he is in that same ilk. There was no video of this. He hasn't gone to jail, nothing like that. But I guess my point is that a lot of teams probably just said, you know what, we're not even going to consider it.
Yeah, and I think Lou, again, it needs to be stressed. The proceedings weren't finished until December, so a lot of teams weren't going to do anything. So he's had all of January, 6 weeks to sign with somebody, and I think that that tells me what you said. Maybe some teams aren't comfortable, but again, he was innocent.
Right.
He went through the process. He took 2 years off his career to show, hey, this didn't happen. Also, before I I want to shout out to my friend Blake. Blake, you are one of my original Warpaint Illustrated followers. You are one of the greatest Chiefs fan that we have. I'm so glad you found us. I'm so glad you found us on the Chiefs Blitz podcast. I know you listen to the Out of Bounds podcast when we had it every single episode. Message board, he would ask me questions. He's one of the best fans. He's been very loyal. So Blake, we love you, buddy. I'm so glad. Looking forward to your comments on the show, and also, definitely keep listening. Hey, tell all your Chiefs friends down there. I don't know if you're still down in the Wichita area. If you are, but let them know where to get the best Chiefs talk, and it's at chiefsblitz.com and our YouTube channel at Chiefs Blitz. So great to have you on board. So I wanted to get that out there, buddy. I miss you. Hope the family's doing good.
Good deal.
And now going into this off season, we had some big names that's on the defensive side of the ball. That's going to be out there. Who you looking to stay, and who you looking to go? Which ones you thinking about losing, and which ones you that we already got on the roster that's always going to replace those guys? Go ahead, Lou. What you have to say?
Well, I mean, the obvious ones. I mean, Chris Jones, L'Jarius Sneed. The ones that may not be as obvious, we talked about him a lot on Tuesday, was Drew Tranquill.
Yep.
And it's just such an interesting case because he only signed a 1-year deal. So the expectation wasn't like, okay, we're going to bring him in to be this key piece of the team, key piece of the locker room. And he turns out to be a home run on both ends of that. And I think he's got a lot of new best friends, and I think he loves the area. Sometimes if you watch the series, The Franchise, they featured him and his family. I mean, the dude is just top notch, right? And on top of everything else, he's an amazing player. Picked up Spags' defense in a heartbeat. Was the play caller while Bolton was out, and we can sing his praises. But again, it's in a difficult spot because he probably is worth a lot more money. Are we willing to invest? But to answer your question, Drew Tranquill is definitely one of the guys that I want to keep. Allegretti is like, I think Nick talked about glue guys. He's a glue guy on the line because anytime somebody gets injured, regardless of position along the line, he's the guy that comes in. He's the first off the bench, so to speak. So want to keep him. Maybe not a big deal, but the long snapper, Winchester, he's been there forever. I think he's probably signed a few free agent contracts, so I don't think that's going to be like a big, oh, geez, we're going to lose him. I think Derek Nottie, it would be worth a decent contract. Nothing big, nothing huge, but I think if he's willing to, I don't want to say take a hometown discount, but to be reasonable, so to speak, he would be a guy you want to keep. Mike Dana seems to be progressing. He's a late bloomer in college. He's been a late bloomer with the Chiefs. You can say what you will, and I've said it many times that he benefits from Chris Jones, but damn it, somebody's got to. And I like the way he plays. I like that he is still an ascending player. So that's another guy I would like to keep. Other than that, everybody else, Willie Gay, you'd like to have him back, but he may command a bigger contract on the market. I don't know how the league views him. Maybe he's just really valuable in this defense.
He's a chaser.
Very fast. He pursues like nobody else. He'll run down wide receivers on those short passes, on the bubble screens and everything else. So I guess he would be on my list as well.
He's a great runner, a great chaser. He's one of the best chasers on the Chiefs linebacking core. I'm gonna say this. I think Drew. Hey, I'm gonna say this. I like Drew, man. I like Drew. Drew stepped in and showed out, man. We got to keep Drew. His personality fit Kansas City. His play shocked everybody. Definitely keep Drew.
But you're looking at it. The Chiefs are the New England Patriots all over again. They have all this talent. Then they always have somebody else to come in and replace them. Everybody go get a New England Patriots cornerback, and they don't play out in their system. But it's always guys that plays out in Belichick's system. And I feel like that's what's going to happen with the Kansas City Chiefs. But my look at it is you stand Chris Jones. You tag Snead. You trade Sky Moore for a 3rd round pick. Which, if you can get that, you try to trade. You try to trade Kadarius Toney and try to get anything. A shoelace maybe. Maybe the shoe is not all size. But also, you probably go get restructure Patrick Mahomes. You structure Jonathan Taylor. Extend Creed Humphrey if they can to save up more money there, and Trey Smith. But also, you got to keep Drew Tranquil like Lou said, and you also got to keep Nick Gardarelli. And you go sign, Nico Hartman. I would bring back Nico Hartman, off the tops. I would bring him back, because you already gave up a draft pick for him to go get him from the Jets, right? Then you already gave up a 2nd round pick to draft him anyway. So you might as well bring him back on a cheap deal. And then his play wasn't declining after when he got his play was and going into the playoff, his play was picking up, and so leading all the way into the Super Bowl. And you go like Lou said, you resign. He says sign Dana. I say Treshaun Wharton. I think that's his name.
Treshaun Wharton. Yeah.
Well, some of the guys that you mentioned aren't going to have a huge market. We know what McColl is. Right. I mean, I don't know that he's really going to improve his game at any point, or it's going to be a hell of a lot different, or he's going to be like even a number 3 receiver. Again, he made some plays, but it wasn't like he kind of took over the team. He came back and he was the deep threat. We're still talking about having to draft receivers. Right. So that he doesn't have much of a market. So I don't, that's not a big deal. You can bring him back and it won't cost that much. Turk Wharton, again, he's good for us. We know what he can do. Does he have a market? Probably not a huge one. So a lot of these guys, if they choose to bring him back, they could probably wait. They hit the market. They see that they're not getting a whole lot of action. And they're like, hey, I like Kansas City. I love the locker room. Whatever they're offering, let's take it and roll with it. So the big ones are like I said, Jones, Snead, sneakily Tranquil, right? So that's the focus, and the rest of the guys, again, I really can't see anybody else that's going to have. Willie might have a decent market, not huge, because of the physical ability.
The Ravens are going to be all after him. He's
You
the
think?
perfect linebacker for that crew. They got 20. They got 22 free agents, 23 free agents, some key guys on defense in particular.
Queen
Willie,
is one of them.
Willie, just stay here, please. If you watch
Okay,
this,
well,
if you come across this show, come on, man, just take a discount, man.
All right.
One of my favorite players.
Let me answer Blake question real quick. He said, "What's your opinion on Calvin Ridley and Hollywood Brown potential fit with Kansas City Chiefs?" Now, last show I stated Hollywood Brown is something that Miko Hardman can be. That which Miko Hardman can be what Hollywood Brown can bring to the table. Hollywood Brown got good hands and he can stretch the field, something that the Chiefs been missing. And
has he shown that, Coach?
But he's
in his
absolutely
NFL career,
right.
has he shown
but,
that?
the thing is, earlier in the season, he was putting up those numbers earlier in the season. He was for Arizona, but the thing is, and then due to injury, he kind of fell back due to injury. But if you look at Hollywood Brown can get it done. He can be that deep threat for Kansas City and what they need. Now, Calvin Ridley, on the other hand, is a good playmaker. Can make plays. He's something that Kadarius Toney should be. You know, Calvin Ridley is that guy, and we know what kind of numbers he can put up. So you wouldn't go wrong with neither one. Especially under Andy Reid.
I think this is the biggest problem for the Chiefs is that, you know, the Patriot way was, you know, Tom Brady would do two things. He would restructure his contract every year and he would go recruit. And he was like, come be part of the Patriots. We're going to win a Super Bowl with you like they did with Moss. That hasn't really happened yet for the Chiefs. Now, winning back-to-back Super Bowls and chance to three-peat, I would think that narrative is going to change. And I said this in one of my articles this week, talking about the Chiefs and talking about Patrick Mahomes in particular. Patrick's got to get on the texting. He's got to start recruiting. He's going to have to say, it doesn't matter, offense or defense. It makes no difference. If there's somebody out there that has an interest, like a Hollywood Brown, who I think would be a decent fit, wouldn't be my top choice for wide receiver. But nonetheless, you know, I think that you can't sit back. It's time to go. They've all had their, you know, week and a half to digest, to enjoy, to be interviewed 1,000 times. I mean, Steve Spagnuolo, God love him. He's been on every platform, a radio platform or podcast platform in the last 10 days, which is great because he certainly deserves it. But they've got to start doing that. And I think the bubble will break, and not a lot of people are going to support this. But I think the Chiefs and Chris Jones have a deal in hand that's going to be roughly a 3-year deal. And I think when people find out that Chris Jones has decided to stay and make a little bit undervalue and give Kansas City Chiefs a team-friendly deal for at least the next 2 years to 3 years, the third year is going to be heavily back-ended. I don't think Chris is going to play more than 2 years. I think you might see that shift. I think a Drew Tranquill is a guy that'll probably take a decent 3-year deal, maybe in the 17, 18 million range. You know, I think those are the guys. And as far as L'Jarius Sneed goes, I don't see him taking a hometown deal. I mean, he made $982,000 last year for arguably the best cornerback in the National Football League. He is the new Stephon Gilmore, and he's probably a guy that can play for another up, you know, into his 30s and play. That's the is going to give the Chiefs a hometown deal. I think they'll give the Chiefs to match whatever offer. But now that the salary cap is $255 million, there's no question in my mind he's not going to get top dollar from somebody who needs a shutdown corner. But does he fit that system? There are very few teams that have the kind of defensive system that Spags has that allow the freedom of the cornerbacks to play like the Chiefs do with Sneed and McDuffie in particular. So he's going to have a lot of things to weigh in, but he's going after the money. The rings are important to Chris. The dynasty, the three-peat, that's important. It's probably important to Drew Tranquill as well because he's finally found a home after laboring and, you know, with the Chargers for so long. So
and right, because you can hear how he was talking like
you don't say that kind of stuff. So again, if Chris Jones sets the table for maybe taking a little bit less, and maybe they tag Sneed and maybe they ultimately trade him, which is what I would do. They now have the cap space to do it. I think that's a foregone conclusion that Snead's going to get tagged, allowing them more time to try and get something done. Maybe they get a first and a second and third for him. Maybe they get 2 1s for him. It's possible. But
is Arizona going to give up that 27 pick for Snead?
Yeah, I mean the Cardinals would be a perfect place for him because he can change the culture down there.
Right, he can.
He'll get paid.
You ain't gonna find a Jerry Snead at 27.
Right? But yeah, then we talked about this on Tuesday. He doesn't talk a lot. I don't know that that's really it's more his plays on the field and how he leads. And Legere, and like I said, he was like a 4th round pick. Gilmore was a 1st round pick. So in terms of the money, he has to get this contract.
Yeah,
right?
He's active in the locker room. Trust me. He's outspoken.
But I do believe he can get top dollar, and he can get top dollar here. Maybe not like you were saying before, reset the market, but in terms of where it's at now, he can be close to or near the top, and not necessarily break the bank. Depending on how Chris Jones's contract gets structured, but. Yeah, in terms, I mean, you said something. I want to ask you this, Nick, because you had mentioned, about the recruiting. But I guess when you're dealing from a position of strength, right? In other words, we just won the last 2 Super Bowls. Mm-hmm. He's Patrick Mahomes. Yeah, I can see him just dropping something out, but to actively recruit people,
he has to. I mean, OBJ didn't come here. Hopkins didn't come here.
They don't need either one of them.
Money, but that was all money oriented. Patrick can do that, and they can show interest. But if Veach isn't willing to pay them, I don't know that Patrick can go much further than whatever he's doing now.
But that's the point. The Chiefs haven't created that. Come play for here, make a little less, be part of something great and special for big name guys, or guys that have 2 or 3 years left in the tank, and they've made some money. They haven't done that yet. We haven't seen
those are typically big markets, right? It's not necessarily
it's irrelevant. We're
because
talking about
you never saw that happen in Green Bay. You don't see it, you never really saw it in Pittsburgh much. In the smaller markets, you just don't get those guys that want to come to your city to play just because you're winning.
The Chiefs are Manchester United. They're the top team in the NFL.
That's what I'm saying. You're in a position of strength.
What Manchester United does, they never stop. They never stop going after the elite athletes.
The soccer transfer and the money is ridiculous. There's no salary cap.
No, it doesn't matter. They have to do a better
apples
job
and oranges. But what I'm saying is from the Chiefs' perspective, and again, it really has never worked out for those teams either. I mean, even with Randy Moss, they didn't win it all. Ocho Cinco went in there. Other guys have gone, and it just never really worked out. It's usually the guys they draft and develop.
Maybe Patrick is like, I don't know. I'm Patrick. I'm not texting you. You come to me.
No,
and also maybe Patrick's like, I want to go down and say I did this with less receivers, less talent, and I still won championships. Maybe he want to go down as that. Say, hey, I'll raise up a Rasheed Rice.
Did you see that pass in the Super Bowl to Mecole Hardman?
Like Brady?
Right. You don't think Patrick Mahomes needs a receiver like that? Yes. He had fun throwing that football. I bet you if you ask him what his favorite play was outside of the touchdown pass to Mecole Hardman.
Oh, yeah, he got to air it out.
He got to air it out. He hasn't been able to air it out to a guy who could catch the ball in what? I think the entire season.
So now,
when I ask you these guys this now, is MVS Frank Clark of the playoffs? Yes. I've been seeing this on Twitter. Frank Clark didn't show up in a regular season, but he showed up in the playoffs. Do the Chiefs keep playoff MVS around, or is they gonna let him walk? He already got 2 rings. He came here and got 2 rings. He already achieved his goal. So will you still keep him around after all the drop?
It depends on who they sign, Hense. I mean, if they bring somebody in free agency that can play that spot and play it better, and he's at a lesser number than what MVS is due, he's gone.
I don't know. What do you think, Andre? Should they keep?
I don't like MVS. I don't like MVS. I don't like MVS. So
I didn't know that.
Like you know what's crazy? You know, he is the Frank Clark. He's the Frank Clark on the offense because he stepped up.
He is.
Think about it. He is. So if they can replace him, and I wish they do because we need consistency, guys. So anybody that comes from free agency or the draft will be better than MVS.
Drake said to go get not Michael Thomas, but what's his name?
Mike Evans.
He said you get Mike Evans. You get Mike Evans and Mike Evans. You know,
Kelsey and Rice. You get that talent right there. That right there to me, hey, it's a sure. They're going to the championship. They're going to the ship. They're going because there's nothing you can do with that offense now.
No,
there's nothing you can do with it.
They get a top shelf receiver, and they get a shifty running back, and they can solve the left tackle problem.
Yeah.
I didn't know you guys about 2 years ago. Okay, let's just be honest with you. And I thought,
please be honest with us.
This past year, so 3 years ago, I was on a radio show, and somebody asked me the question if I ever felt that anybody could go undefeated. And I said, you know what? The 2023 Chiefs will, because I figured after losing Hill for a year, it would take them some time to adjust. If the Chiefs make the right moves this year, and they make 4 key moves, re-sign Chris, keep Snead, get that running back, get that wide receiver. They've already retained virtually their entire coaching staff. I think there are going to be a few tweaks here and there.
Right.
They've got Patrick Mahomes. I've looked at we'll talk about the schedule next week, but looking at the schedule, it's like, could this team be that team that runs the table? Now, what perfect scenario would it be to go undefeated in the regular season, and undefeated in the postseason to win three-peat? They're going to become with a three-peat. But if they can do what the Dolphins did, and you know, let's be honest, they had a 14-game schedule versus a 17, and they only played 2 playoff games, or 3 playoff games, if I'm not mistaken. Bottom line is, they would be the greatest NFL team of all time. Nobody ever is going to duplicate that. Just the three-peat itself. And I heard people say, and it just drives me crazy. People were saying, well, the Green Bay Packers won 3. Okay, yeah. But in the Super Bowl era, which is what really counts, because that was an NFC championship. I mean, that was an NFL championship. NFL versus NFL. It had nothing to do with the AFL and the NFL. So that doesn't count for me. So again, it goes back to what we've been saying. How aggressive is Brett Veach going to be? How well can they recruit? How well they can convince these guys to start taking a hometown deal? How important is these guys? Money versus three-peat. And I think you're going to see some guys are going to choose money over three-peat, and that's okay. I have never said to any NFL guy, in players that I've known, players that I've talked to, players that have gotten a ridiculous amount of money, you know, if you can get it, you take it. But this is something different now. So again, Veach has got his work cut out for him, but with $255.4 million available, I mean, that's $15 million more than I thought it was going to be this year.
Yeah, I don't think aggressive has ever been an issue for Brett. I don't, you know, whether it's been in the draft, moving up and down, or, you know, in free agency. Obviously, they've missed on some guys, you know, Trent Williams, but they went to the mat for that. I mean, they went to numbers.
You think he regrets that decision now?
Maybe.
Can I get people to stop saying the Chiefs are looking for a number 1 receiver?
I'm not saying they're looking for a number 1 receiver.
The number 1 receiver is on the team, and it's Rashid Rice. He's been there. He's been proven that he's number 1. He's number 1 on the Kansas City Chiefs. He had almost 1,000-yard season in his rookie season. He broke all rookie records for the Kansas City Chiefs, and he also broke the postseason records for held by a rookie. Don't come on the show disrespecting number 4. Don't say that we need to go get Michael Thomas, this guy, that guy, to get that true number 1. You have the true number 1 and number 4. He's there. He's gonna work with Pat in the offseason.
Well. If he get locked up, then who is the ball going to?
He don't get locked up. If you check his tape,
I'm just saying no, because Jamar Chase is good too. I'm just saying Mike Evans is good, but if he get locked up, who the ball going to?
Well, that's why you go
on a particular play. I mean, this isn't
I'm just saying in general. I'm just saying.
Well, I hear what you're saying, but this isn't the 70s NFL anymore. You can't literally lock somebody up. I mean, it's almost impossible. So, but I hear both of you guys. The Chiefs.
That's why the glue guys are important.
The Chiefs do need another wide receiver to keep the defense honest, and they need somebody that can get deep and track the ball. Now, I did send you guys a tweet from that Nagy sent out. Not our Nagy, but Jim Nagy from the Senior Bowl. I've been talking about Roman Wilson from Michigan. I put it on the group me text. I don't know if you guys looked at it, but he was talking about how no wide receiver raised their stock as much as Roman Wilson did in the Senior Bowl. And
right.
Again, it wasn't like the light bulb came on. Anybody that was watching that could see this kid's a player. So he would be the type of guy, and he actually compared him a little bit to Tyler Lockett, a little bit taller, but very sturdy, and can run routes in between, but certainly can get over the top. And it was just that Michigan, they just didn't throw it that much. But
they didn't have the quarterback for it. In
the clutch, when they needed it, in the playoffs,
Tom Brady,
Roman Wilson was the guy. So that could be a guy that maybe, if they do trade out of the first round, maybe some team that's coming up to get one of the quarterbacks that slides, and we go back down to like 34 or 35, something like that, that's not a bad option. No. Not that he would be a true number one receiver, but he would certainly lift that receiving core and plug in something we don't currently have.
Right. Well, can we agree? Can we agree to this? Andy Reid's the guru of offense, guys. So it really doesn't matter who they pluck in from free agency or from the draft. It doesn't matter because he's going to adjust to what he has. But
if they pick up the offense,
but listen, they do right. But Chiefs need a big body guy, a chain mover. They need a chain mover, somebody they can trust. That's all they need.
I got a
big body guy,
Justin Ross.
I got a name. I got a name.
Who you got?
You ready?
Who you got, Nick?
I teased this on Wednesday.
Don't you say Gabe Davis?
No, but no.
Big game, Gabe.
I think if I'm Brett Veach, I send my 2024 number 1, my 2024 number 3, and my 2025 number 2, and a 6th round 2026 pick to the Minnesota Vikings for Justin Jefferson. I sign him to a heavy new contract, and the Chiefs will benefit for years to come. And I think that is the move that Brett Veach should make. Forget the draft. Forget this guy. And that means I'm giving up on Bowers, who I know the Chiefs are very, very high on. I have this on very good authority.
The league is high on him, Nick. Come on, everybody.
No. He has gone from a top 7. He's in some drafts. He's in the bottom half. So no, I don't think that's the case yet.
Okay.
Now the Georgia Pro Day may be different, but if I'm Brett Veach, I go all in on Justin Jefferson.
But you're gonna need a lot for Justin Jefferson.
He wants to be a Chief. I'm certain of it. He wants to play with Patrick Mahomes. He is one of those young guys that think.
Did Patrick text him and ask him to?
No, that would be tampering. But they did play the Vikings this year, and there was conversations before and after the game.
Yeah,
as this always look at Juju Smith-Schuster.
Telling Chris Jones paper trail. That's why those guys are always covering their mouths. You can't
text. You got to go like this and. Hey, buddy, come sign with us next year.
But if you look at his numbers are ridiculous. Like,
I think the Chiefs are going to trade.
Never had a bad year. Like, never had a bad year since he's been in 2,000 yards, 1,000 something yards, 1,500, 1,700, 1,800, 19. This guy is ridiculous. If the Chiefs pull it off,
Chiefs don't need that. Chiefs don't need that draft pick. They don't need that first round pick.
Here's the philosophical question that I guess we have to answer, and the team has to answer is, okay,
who's Chiefs who?
which team do we what kind of team do we want to be? Because again, and I've heard this question many times, well, why can't you have an explosive offense and a great defense? It all comes down to time of possession and the amount of plays and snaps your defense has to play. And no team can play a ton of snaps. If you're scoring a ton of points and not really possessing the ball, your defense is on the field a lot more, so it's not going to be as good. So we've got kind of this really good defense in place. Do you just want to say?
But we don't have that. But we don't have it in place because we don't know who's coming back.
Right. We'll see. You have to go in.
It ain't going to be as good next year as it was this year, unless
right. I mean, you have to go in with a.
We want the excitement, guys. We want the excitement. If
you bring the guys back that you think they're going to bring back, right?
Right.
Do we make that kind of move? That just seems like almost a desperate move. Like if we don't get this guy,
no. If they
Justin Jefferson, I don't feel like that's a desperate move. I'm taking that move.
If they keep if they keep Tranquil, Snead, and Jones, the defense is set. Doesn't matter about Willie Gay because you got Leo Chanel and you got Thompson.
I agree.
And they'll draft a linebacker, probably with a second pick.
Absolutely.
But if you are able to go out and get Justin Jefferson, you find your left tackle either in free agency or you give Wanye Morris a chance to see what he can do. Now he struggled a little bit last year. Well, actually a lot of it last year. But if that's the case, if you got your defense set for the next 2 to 3 years, you absolutely give up draft picks and you get a Justin Jefferson type.
Okay, so would you be comfortable? Would you be comfortable with like
say all that, Luke? We disrespect the number 4 on this team.
We're not disrespecting number 4.
Yes,
are you willing to bring a new guy in from a different program and give him 4 years, $120 million?
I don't think he'll get that much, but I think he'll get a good contract. He's going to play for a winner. He's got a chance to win a Super Bowl. I mean, he's been playing. I mean, I love Kirk Cousins. He's one of my favorite players in the NFL, one of my favorite quarterbacks. But Kirk Cousins isn't leading you to a Super Bowl. Neither is Josh Allen or anybody else for that matter. As far as knowing every year,
one choice.
No. Every year, the Chiefs are in the better chance than anybody to win a Super Bowl.
No question.
Okay, that's all I'm saying.
We're in that mode right now.
For the next 4 years, Andy's going to coach 4 more years. He's getting a new contract. He's going to make a lot more money. He'll commit to coach till he's 70 years old. For the next 4 years, it's all in. And then we go for the lull. Patrick Mahomes will be in his 33, 34, maybe take a year or two to rebuild. Let Patrick have one more swan song at 36 or 37 to try and win another Super Bowl. That's what I think is going to happen. This train ain't going to ride forever. The glory isn't going to be every year. But for right now, for the next 4 years, I personally believe the Chiefs are going to win 2 of the next 4 Super Bowls.
And I don't disagree with that, but I just don't think they would. I just don't see him going all in at the wide receiver position. By all in, meaning the highest paid wide receiver.
It won't be the highest paid.
Regardless, he won't.
He won't be the highest paid wide receiver.
Nah,
he won't be. No.
When he signs his next contract, he will be the highest paid receiver in the NFL. No question.
Nobody is getting 27, 28, 29, $30 million at a wide receiver anymore. The owners won't allow it. The cap's going to be 18 to 20 million. I'm telling you, especially with the new salary cap, the owners have a great system in place that the players have tried to, point out. They set the market, and very few teams go outside of that. And when they do, it's not a good thing for the other owners. And that's why you haven't seen since Hill and those guys got their contract, you haven't seen numbers approaching that. And I think that's not going to be any different for Justin Jefferson. Again, he wants to win, and that's the biggest thing.
But nobody put up the numbers that he put up yet.
No,
only Tyreek Hill and him. That's about it. Nobody else put up the numbers that Justin Jefferson. So he's going to be the one that reset that market.
What I'm saying, guys, is game changing, guys. Like I gave Lou what you said about defense and offense. You want to be a possession team. You can still be that with Justin Jefferson. You can still.
You don't want to cripple your team either, because you're gonna have Creed, Rumphy, Trey Smith, McDuffie contract, Nick Bolton. You're gonna have all those contracts coming up, and you put all that money in one player.
You just don't see many teams
They're
that
gonna be
invest
done.
that highly at
Done,
wide
yeah.
receiver be championship teams.
I think he's special. I think.
Oh,
he's
he
different.
absolutely is special. He's
I
the
think,
best.
honestly, I think he's the
He may
game
be-
changer, though, guys.
He
He's the
may
game
be
changer,
the
man.
best,
what
but
are you
is
talking
that
That's
but does
respect.
that necessarily
Number
what
4.
you need? I mean, it's not just, I guess,
about?
collecting
Number 4,
talent.
he's still at 85 overall, Madden.
We're building it.
Stop
We're building a team. So that's what I'm saying. I
He
mean,
did that in his first year.
I still see one of these guys in the draft is going to be their next starting receiver,
be.
and not that he's going to replace Rice by any stretch, but he has to complement that group and somebody they can trust that can track the ball, the deep ball,
Mm-hmm.
and make those catches. So if Tyler Lockett becomes available, I think that would be a great guy.
That would be a good
story.
story.
Be like the third receiver, right?
Yeah.
No, I don't
So-
like Tyler Lockett that much.
I'm not as
But-
high on Tyler Lockett as some other people are, but I could see that as a
No,
I could see that as a possibility if they've exhausted everything else. Now, if he gets
would
cut
be a great
before
replacement
the March,
to MVS.
if he gets cut, before in the next week or two, I think the Chiefs will take a look at him.
but do you got anything for Chiefs who? A lot of people been waiting on Chiefs who.
Strike up the band, Hence. Of course we do. As promised, let's go. The
Let's get it.
fastest
Get right into
growing
it.
game on YouTube, the
Let's
internet,
get it,
and,
gentlemen.
perhaps even all cable TV. Let's
Right.
go, man. Is cable TV still a thing?
I don't know.
It
All
is
right.
where I live.
I gotta find my glasses. Here we go. All right. He in college as a senior was second team all conference.
That's a big clue.
You can call him. It's the first one, Nick. They
Oh,
kind
sorry.
of build, okay?
Sorry,
The
sorry.
peanut gallery here.
Oh
Let's-
man.
You can call him a New England guy. His school has multiple national championships. He's done some cameos. He scored at least one touchdown in each season he's played.
Travis Kelce.
No. One of his college quarterbacks got the bag recently.
Lots of money. Let's see.
It was a Lear.
No.
That's all I'm about to say.
One of the hosts of the Four Guys podcast,
Charles Domenahue.
has a nickname for him, and it's hot. T1D is very important to him.
McDuffie.
No. At the parade, the entire team was chanting his name.
Drew Tranquil.
No.
Isaiah Pacheco.
That is all the clues I have at this point.
Okay. Offense, defense.
Noah Gray. Noah Gray.
Gray.
Noah Gray. Okay. He was born in New Hampshire, went to high school in Massachusetts. So that makes him a New England guy. Second team all conference ACC his senior year. His school, Duke, has won multiple national championships, not in football, though. He is a member of the Cameo Network, so you can pay $3 and get a personal message from Noah.
Nice.
He has scored touchdowns in all 3 seasons. Daniel Jones recently got paid. T1D, he's a type 1 diabetic.
Yep.
The nickname, it's hot. 50 Shades, baby. Come on.
50 Shades. All right.
And the full team on stage screaming Noah Gray for about 30 seconds. That kind of cemented it for me.
I'm sure. I think I missed that one. So
That was Chiefs Who Sprout, but sponsored by Eric Haynes.
That's right.
that's right. All right. Let's before we get too far, I want to make sure we talk about Dave Purdy. as well. You know, Dave's a good friend of the show, one of our prime sponsors here. And, you know, he does an amazing job with Supreme. You can reach Dave at 816-405-5831. He's currently working on my mortgage. We've had multiple conversations and we have multiple texts today trying to get everything finalized for that. I know he's going to be working with Hense when they're ready to buy a house. And he's going to work for you as well. You need somebody you can trust, somebody who can walk through the process, somebody who's going to make sure that you get the best rate, the best situation to put yourself in for a new house. You know, if you're looking to refinance, you can take a look at your debt, you can take a look at your high interest credit cards, see what he can do. So give Dave a call at 816-405-5831. We love Dave because he is pretty good.
Juicy.
All right. Make sure we get that in there and make sure we talk about our sponsors. But, you know, guys, I mean, I do want to share.
You had on Chris Jones. What's the news?
So that's what I said earlier. I think it's going to be a 3-year deal. I think the contract number is probably going to be closer to the 24-25 million per year range instead of the 30 plus he was seeking to kind of help out. I think he wants to save some money, as Patrick did for him, you know, when he signed his first contract or his second contract with the Chiefs. I do think that McCole Hardman will come back on a small deal. Right. Remember, he was one of the last free agent wide receivers to sign, and he got an incentive-laden deal with the Jets. So I don't think that's I think they're going to keep him because he was such a success. I think the Kadarius Toney days are done. I don't think he's going to be back. And you know, going back to MVS, what I've been told is it's kind of a 50-50 thing right now. I'm sure he's willing to restructure his contract if they need some cap space. But there are a lot of people in that building who vouch for him and that want him to be back. Patrick and Travis, you know, have spent a lot of time with him, and they got him working, you know, toward the end of the year that he needed to. I think he saw firsthand, you know, the lack of conversation, you know, lack of concentration, some of the things that plagued him. You know, he shined in the Bengals game, and he shined in the playoffs, and I think they're going to keep him. And same thing with Tranquil. I think he'll get a deal at some point. But, you know, I think that, again, this is not going to be easy for Brett Veach to do. But, you know, I don't think that they see the same things that we do. It's just a matter of, like Lou said, what's the risk? How much do you go all in for one season to chase history? It has not worked well for other teams. Look at the Baltimore Ravens, the most perfect example you can get. They went and signed all those guys, and they came up short, and they crapped in their pants in the biggest game of the season. Offensively, first half defensively, coaching staff didn't do a good job. And a lot of that's because Andy Reid and Steve Spagnuolo are the best at what they do. So there is a huge risk, and you guys make really good points. So, again, a lot's going to be determined what happens Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday in Indianapolis at the Combines. What conversations Brett Veach has and Andy Reid has with coaches, with agents, and to kind of see what they could get done. But this is where all the deals happen. So anything that they've worked on or they get to close to doing a contract, it's definitely going to be that.
Yeah, good point.
So
are we closing on that, or are we?
I don't know.
Yeah, we are.
Hey, everybody paused. Everybody was like,
everybody paused. Do I have?
Speaking of Baltimore, what about the chatter? You know, he's been injured, but OBJ is available again.
No.
You know,
no.
Is that something you do?
Wait.
Oh wow! I got more breaking news.
What's all about no for?
I got more breaking news. Now this is somebody who the Chiefs I think should go after. The Dolphins just cut Emmanuel Ogbah, the defensive end. He's had 6.5 sacks the last 2 years. He's been injured. He's played a lot.
He was good for the Chiefs.
He was really good for the Chiefs. So if with the Charles Omenihu, you know, I hear his surgery went really, really well. It was not as bad as they thought it was.
He was the same guy that did Aaron Rodgers' Achilles.
Yeah, it's the same guy. So I'm confident that you know, he's going to be able to play sooner rather than later. But if Ogbah is available, I'm all in. I sign him in a heartbeat.
Yeah,
and he's a free agent right now, so he can talk to any team. I would not be shocked if the Chiefs re-signed him. Not one bit.
I definitely agree.
Do it. I'm in.
All in.
Yeah. So look. Let's go ahead and give a shout out to our other sponsors before we close out.
All right, let's do it one more time. Want to thank Mr. Eric Haynes with the Eric Haynes Group. If you're looking for a trusted real estate advisor, someone who's going to walk your hand through the process of finding a house and getting your keys to move in, you give Eric a call at 816-729-3785.
Proud sponsor, Chief Who.
And proud sponsor of Chiefs Who, as Lou said. And also a very proud sponsor of the show would be Mr. Dave Purdy. You know, if you're looking for someone who's going to walk you through the process of trying to find a good loan, evaluate your current debt, W-2, 1099, you need someone who has a plethora of options in companies that they deal with, in type of loans that fit your budget, good interest rates. Rates are steady. You know, they're going to definitely fall, but you want someone who can navigate all that madness. So get with Eric to get your house and get with Dave Purdy to get your loan. You can reach Dave at 816-405-5831. We love Dave because he is pretty good.
All right, let me give my shout out to all the new and the most consistent people on the show. Shout out to Kareem. Shout out to Sinclair. Shout out to, let me see who we got here. Gabe Reds. What's going on, Gabe Reds? Who we got? Trahan, Frank. What up? What's going on? Frank, Blake, Bammers. Did I said it right, Nick? Blake Bammers.
Bams.
Blake Bams. Bam.
I believe that's
okay,
it.
Blake Bams. You sure? Okay, Blake Bams.
Not 100%. Blake, I'm sorry, man. If I butchered the last name.
All right, Bam Bam. All right, so we're gonna Bam Bam. So we're gonna say we're gonna Blake Bam Bam. So again, guys, love the comments, guys. Keep them coming again. Welcome to the Chiefs Blitz.
All right.
Shout out to Frank all the way from, was it France?
Toronto.
France.
Same.
I was getting
France
France. Toronto, Canada.
Another
Who's better, Michael Jackson or Prince? Who, you know, everybody choose Prince.
There's no question it's Prince.
It's no question. It's
not even close.
Over
Not even remotely close.
Oh my god!
Who you taking about? You taking?
What's that?
Michael Jackson or Prince?
For me, it's Prince all day. I've got a signed picture of him on my wall over here. So.
I told you, Drake. I threw it in there.
It's crazy. No, it's crazy because a lot of people that I thought was gonna say Prince and Mike. So it's a tug of war with those two. So
no,
I mean, good picks, man.
No.
Good pick.
No, you're talking about singer, musician, songwriter,
right? Songwriter.
Producer.
Yeah, he's a tremendous
He finances his own albums or CDs or whatever. No way. That guy was that. Just go back and watch the Super Bowl halftime show he did. That was epic. That was the greatest 15, 20 minutes almost of any concert footage outside of Queen's performance on Live Aid, way back in the day. I'm telling you, Jackson was a dancer and a singer. He didn't write his own materials. He didn't write his own songs.
We got to take it in the comments. Prince or Michael Jackson?
Oh my God. That was all Quincy. That was all Quincy. That was all Quincy Jones, man. That was all Quincy Jones producing all that stuff. No. And did you see Prince? And watch the movie Purple Rain. He was a great actor too. I don't know why he didn't act more. He was brilliant in Purple Rain.
Prince was a complete unit. Prince was a complete unit. Like he was one of the greatest to do it by himself, and he still got a plethora of music still out here that hasn't been
they haven't released it yet.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I give Prince, like, to me, I'm a Michael Jackson fan to the T. But I do respect Prince though.
Why?
Everybody saying Prince. Prince easy.
Why? Well, okay, no. So we've already gone down this road, so we're gonna finish it. Why is Michael Jackson? Why is Michael Jackson better than Prince?
Because if you look at his whole career since as a kid, Jackson 5 and The Voice, then goes up to Off the Wall and then go from off to Bad. He was so popular. He was with one of the best legendary
Michael Jackson
in the
is
game.
a dancer. The difference.
He's a singer, bro.
Entertainer, musician.
Prince is a unit. Prince does it all by himself. If you look at what he did by himself and what he controlled, Prince is phenomenal with it. Phenomenal. But as far as catalog goes, and as far as like great music, just consistent great music, I go with Michael Jackson.
Oh God.
Entertaining, everything. I go with Mike.
All right, guys, we close it out. We'll see you
All
guys. We see you guys Monday. With that said, it's 4 guys in a bar. You know, it's bar talk. So with that said, we'll see you guys Monday at noon. Have a great weekend.
Peace out, everybody.
Peace. Kiss.